All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome into today's edition of In the Game. I am your host, Hustle, and as always, we're going to be diving into the markets, but we're going to be diving into where the liquidity is going to flow. If you're under a rock, if you're not under a rock, you probably have heard that the Jupiter airdrop happened today. So a lot of liquidity hit the market, and specifically the Solana chain. So we're going to go over where some of that money was distributed, as well as where you could see some of that money flowing in the Solana ecosystem, as well as some other altcoins that I'm looking at currently, some news in the market as well. So without further ado, let's get in the game. And as always, guys, drop down, hit that like button, and subscribe for more. We're trying to hit 100,000 here before the end of Q1. So help us out. Drop a comment, drop a like, and hit that subscribe button as well. Shout out to our sponsors here on In the Game. We have some amazing sponsors on the channel. Some of the top tier gaming sponsors, studios, Launchpads, etc. We have 𝗲𝗡𝗅, Vulcan Forged, Ultra, Redato, Dreams Quest, Game Starter. We have NordVPN, FARCANA, Uncaged, and 96.com. You can check out all of our sponsors in the description down below. And without further ado, let's jump into the biggest narratives of today in the Web3 gaming space and in the crypto space. So first and foremost, with FOMC going on today, we're seeing a little bit of a jolt in the market. The market dipped earlier today, and now we're seeing kind of a push back up. So that's good to see in general. But we're really not here to talk about FOMC. That stuff's boring, and that stuff seems to just provide temporary movements in the market. Now, it has long-term effects, but at the same time, it's a non-event whenever it comes to the current stages of crypto, where we have the Jupiter airdrop going on today. And we see some of the gaming alts doing well, but most of the stuff today is just hovering around break even, sideways trading, etc. But the one thing that isn't sideways right now is what's happening on Solana. So Solana had one of the biggest decentralized exchanges do their token drop today with Jupiter. So I hope you qualified for the Jupiter airdrop. I think if you traded before the month of December, so like by the end of November 2023, if you had traded on Jupiter, which you don't even have to use Jupiter's DEX, by the way. I hardly did. I just transacted on Phantom Wallet, and some of the transactions went through Jupiter. So like in my recollection, I didn't even go to Jupiter's website ever, but I did transact through their protocol with Phantom Wallet. So shout out to Phantom Wallet. I did have me an airdrop today, so that was very nice to see. But go check your airdrops on Phantom Wallet. If you go to the browser tab, it's right at the top. They're making sure you don't get scammed. So you can check if you qualified for the Jupiter airdrop. And this thing is super highly evaluated. We'll see what happens in the long run with this thing, and just kind of see like what happens with the price action. Airdrop tokens typically aren't the most bullish, but this is one of the best, most highly functional DEXs on Solana. So we'll kind of see what happens from here. But what this causes, we're not here to talk about Jupiter. That isn't my niche. All right. We're here to degen. We're here to ape 10 soul clips into meme coins. These crypto degens are out of control. This is an amazing tweet here. They're aping 10 soul clips into meme coins, but I'm not eyeing up meme coins. Myro might have a pump from here. 𝗍𝗓𝗔𝗧𝗏 might have one. If you know, you know. But, when you're looking at the actual markets and the crypto gaming side of things, a lot of communities got a lot of liquidity today. Let's just leave it there. Whenever you look at stuff like Honeyland, for example, on the day, it's not doing great, but it is up 20% on the week, getting a nice relief bounce from this little bit of a dip. And I think this is one of the most obvious ones. First and foremost, the Sol phone, highly integrated with Honeyland. Anyone who's been using the Sol phone, you got free assets. They have high user counts. And when we're talking high user counts, 100,000 plus downloads. And I'm going to tell you, I know this team. This team is not botting their numbers. I've seen the dashboards. I've seen the analytics. I've seen that these are true player counts, true numbers. The daily actives, the monthly actives are more than impressive. Honeyland has some of the most activity on Sol Gaming. So it only makes sense that people like Altcoinist here My profit from the entire crypto space from any project goes to one place. He is filling up that pot of honey with Honeyland tokens. Today, it's Jupiter into Honeyland, as I said 2 days ago. This guy got a $29,000 airdrop from Jupiter. Like, this is why the markets, whenever these injections come through, it's very common to see some of these communities and these tokens pump that get liquidity like this. So we saw a 30,000 inflow from one buyer go into Honeyland today. So that is nothing to, shake your head at. And then on top of that, we've been talking. I play it on my mobile, on the Solana mobile. I play it on my iPhone as well. I double dip, all right? I got a couple wallets. I'm in there. I got lands. I got all this stuff going on in the game. But on top of that, you can now play with your browser. So if you don't like mobile games, it's now coming to a browser near you. Brave browser, all these different things. Like I use Brave browser, for example, but you can actually jump in now on the browser. So they're bringing this mobile experience across platform, which I think is super bullish. Think of COD mobile and then Call of Duty. There's platform game and mobile game. So it kind of gives that feel that you can increase your user count here, right? For people who would just rather play on the browser. So that's super bullish to me. And then they had a keynote yesterday where they went over basically a state of, I'm going to call it a state of the hives in Honeyland. And as you see here, they have the Telegram Chase Bees web app coming on February 5th. Not Your Average Gaming Show coming in February. Cosmetic Shop, Stripe on-ramp, sex listing. HXD on-chain staking, civic verification in March, HXD in-game staking in April, May, Universe number 2 in June, and then Honeyland Quest. This is the one that I want you to keep your eyes on. This is going to be an event. Let me just leave it there that I think you're definitely going to want to take part in. So I think number one on where the liquidity could rotate, and the proof is in the pudding. Like we have people putting 30,000 soul clips into thank you, Alan Carroll, for your meme. But putting 30,000 soul clips into HXD. So that's super bullish. But let's look at the raw numbers here. Let me pull up this a little broader here. So a massive amount of jupe has been claimed by Solana gaming communities. So far, 11 million by Play the Heist. And I definitely think we could see a lot of money flow into the NFTs in the Heist ecosystem. On top of that, they're about to launch their new token, Kiwi. So what they've done a good job of is keeping the in-game economy stable and sustainable by basically in football terms, doing laterals, audibles over to different tokens. So instead of letting a single token getting completely overran, they've migrated tokens over time from Nana to Coco, and now they're going over to Kiwi. And these have done super well over the time period. So I think the Heist could definitely get some of that liquidity. And I mean, let's just take a look at a couple other games here on this list. 10 million to Star Atlas community. Makes sense, right? They've been transacting to get their Atlas, their Polis. So we could definitely see for those high conviction people coming back in and stacking up some Polis would be where I look. I think Atlas it's too not inflationary, but it's just the in-game token for most, instances inside this economy. So I would look at Polis if I was looking at the Star Atlas ecosystem. We have 8.5 million by the Aurori community. So as we see here, Aurori isn't really making a big move on the day, to say the least. 16 million market cap. So their community just got some liquidity today. And these are important things to look at. We have 5 million going to the Geno Pets community, and then 3 million going to the Photo Finish community. This would be my number 2 behind HXD as far as tokens to maybe rotate that jupe airdrop into. So coming into May, we have the Kentucky Derby. And this is the official partner, 3-year or a multi-year agreement with Churchill Downs to be the official game of the Kentucky Derby. The licensing here is on point. And I mean, knowing like what the team's building here, the partners, the exposure that's going to come for the Kentucky Derby, this is also just like Honeyland with the catalyst over the next 2-3 months. this has such a good chance of running up over the next 3-month time period leading up to the Kentucky Derby. So this would be my number 2 token to potentially rotate that capital into. And then I would say number 3 would be potentially Heist NFTs, or putting some of that liquidity into the IDO for the Heist and their new token, Kiwi. So there's a lot of different ways this money could flow. But my best bets would be Honeyland, Crown, and the Heist game, and then followed by Polis, Aurori. I love Decimated as well underneath the Sol ecosystem. It's got a little bit of green activity here today, but these are all Solana coins. That's the key. The biggest Solana DEX with this huge airdrop today, the Sol coins are going to be the ones that get the gist and the most of that liquidity. And it just makes sense. Guess what? Most people that are just ETH maxis are claiming super small amounts today. It's the people like Easy Eats claiming 180,000 Jupiter today. Absolutely crazy numbers, guys. And these are the people that had conviction through these times, still were using Solana when people were trolling it, said it was broken, FTX coin, etc. Well, look at it now. I mean, shout out to anyone who had conviction and got a massive airdrop here. And the tokens I'm looking at, as mentioned, Honeyland, Crown, Star Atlas, Aurori, and Decimated. And then on the NFT front, I would possibly look at the Heist or their upcoming IDO for the Kiwi token. Now, that is not the only thing going on in the space, however. Let's quickly run through some news, some updates, and some tokens that I would 100% be accumulating today. Number 1, Super. Super announced yesterday just the beginning of their integrations. And people are still confused as to what they're doing here. And I think it's so almost obvious, more use cases across being a unified, a united gaming token across these ecosystems. It's being integrated into elite Web3 games, creating a unified gaming network to help projects and liquidity. And actually, they are partnering up. If we go to the page, I don't know why the thread wasn't loading there. That's very odd. But it's Build on Beam, Immutable, Polygon, and Superverse. So this is going to be a massive, massive step forward. And I truly think we're going to see huge things coming from Super, especially once those Web3 games that they're going to be working with come to the public. I really think people are going to open their eyes to what they're trying to do there. If you've been waiting on a dip on our latest entry on BoxBet, BXBT, it might be the time now. I mean, this thing got up to 12 cents. It's now taking a 20-30% pullback here. There's so many updates coming through here. I'm having the pleasure of speaking with the team now behind the scenes. Ever since I got into this token, they took recognition of that. And the things I'm hearing that's on the way for this token is just incredible. And they just updated their UI. They have perk unlocks rakeback, which means you can win some of the house winnings, which is really important. I think for a crypto GambleFi project, that's a super important narrative. Lotteries and jackpots and bigger competitions. Another one that's getting slept on and honestly has been getting hammered in price ever since the gaming run is Cap Games, who if you remember, their Captain and Company mint went really well. Free mint, it went up. It gave gains to anyone. And the game is actually super fun. Multiplayer, you can hop in. And today they're actually launching their game. Ready your sea legs for the greatest massively multiplayer pirate adventure the world has ever seen. And I mean, they're nothing to... it's definitely nothing to write off or, overlook. They're backed by Samsung Next. They're backed by multiple entities that are just absolutely massive. I know that they have done huge fundraising. Here, let me just click it real quick. Yeah, Samsung Next, GSR, 0x Polygon, Solana, and more. And a lot of people don't even know that they have this token. And for those reasons, sometimes a lot of people don't focus on it. I think at this market cap, even with the diluted, it's not that bad. I truly think that this is a decent play. Higher risk, but very high reward if they do come through. They're going to have more games than just Captain and Company as well. Another one to keep your eyes on. Obviously, the FUD was heavy on this throughout the week. And the team coming from Supercell, they didn't have the best Web3 experience if you were to kind of dig into it that way. But the AFG token did launch for Army of Fortune. I'm still personally bullish. I think that this could still be one of the biggest mobile games in the space. My only concern, just on a transparent perspective, would be that the 9 million to 153 million fully diluted. And per their token airdrop plan, we have about till May to maybe see this have a real rise in price before those big sells and unlocks come through from vesting and through airdrops. So definitely be careful, but one of the best mobile games in the space, you can't deny it. So I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on it. Where there's FUD, where there's fear, there's opportunity for a bounce back. And despite the team's potential lack of Web3 experience in the past, which is being, put all over Twitter, that's kind of the reason why they fumbled the airdrop thing. I think they could correct it as good business people and then kind of see the way through and kind of make this thing right. Because up until a few days ago, everyone was bullish on Army of Fortune. I'm not going to change my stance. Unlike some products out there, I don't think that they've ruined what they're doing. So definitely keeping an eye on AFG and what it's going to do. And as full transparency, I'm involved with the token. I have vested interest. I've vested tokens, etc. So I am in, but from a pre-market perspective. So I'm kind of just sitting on my hands while my vesting plays out, and we'll go from there. Otherwise, I would filter the watch list as I always do. Like I said, BoxBet Superverse was like a sell the news, but I think this is going to bounce back. I would buy that dip on Superverse so hard right now. Buy the dip so hard, bro. Other stuff I'd be looking at potentially. G Swift took a big hit. That could be an opportunity for anyone getting in or looking for entries. I like Inspect. Citus and Senate are really strong to me at this point. Grape just keeps on dipping. Someone's stepping on those grapes and they keep dipping. I think eventually it'll have relief, but there's still a lot of airdrop pressure, etc. So be careful there. Obviously, I'm huge on Kaneko. I think Creo Engine could still be a good buy at this 20 million level. Nakamoto Games has been trading sideways for quite some time at this point. Champs has been a recent low cap game we've been calling out. And actually, by on-chain games on Ethereum, this is the third most activity. That's crazy to think. But Champs right here, a very low-key $4 million market cap, has the third most activity on the ETH gaming side. So that's a super bullish metric in my opinion. Like I said, Senate, other things I would be looking at, maybe Echelon Prime. I'm stacking Prime. And I think that this is going to be $1 billion+ project on the circulating market cap easily. I love GameStarter at this price point with the, how low the market cap is. So those are just a few that I'd be looking to stack. But today's show focusing on some of the news and as well as where some of that liquidity could be rotating in the Solana ecosystem. The proof is in the numbers. It's probably going to go into the Heist, Star Atlas, Photo Finish Game, Honeyland, etc. So keep your eyes out for those games to potentially get some of that liquidity. Let's move on to a couple other updates in the space. We have a new L1 coming up with a lot of games. They're doing 1,000 nodes for sale here. $4,000 here is the price point. I did go ahead and hop in and I got a code for this. So anyone who's been interested in nodes, if you want to take a look at this one, you can use code HUSTLE and you can get 5% off on this. It is definitely very early stage. And at this point, it doesn't have crazy advanced developments, but the team does have really good plans in the future to kind of bring this ecosystem to the forefront. So if you're interested in nodes, that is going on right now with Meta X Seed. We have Heroes of Mavia launches in about an hour. From when you're watching this, it's live. Heroes of Mavia global launch goes live today. If you want an airdrop and you want to make some money, you missed out on Jupiter, or maybe you hit Jupiter and you're looking for the next one, okay? Head over, download Heroes of Mavia today, Mavia game. And then on the 31st, you download the game on iOS or Android. I'm going to do it on both. And sync their account to Mavia's website. You will be eligible for an airdrop. And it gives you all of the steps here to be able to go ahead and get that done. So qualify for this airdrop. It's free money. And this token literally goes live on February 6th. So gear up for that. Don't tell me I didn't tell you so. And then last but not least, we got one more after this. We have Mixmob coming out with their token on Solana. So we can actually term this back to where's the liquidity going to go? The liquidity could go to a brand new gaming coin here, backed by Arthur Hayes, backed by Solana, backed by some of the biggest names in the Solana ecosystem. I mean, we literally had the founder of Solana playing this game the other day, like very bullish. It's going on Bybit, as they say here. What do Red Bull, Verstappen, and Mixmob have in common? Bybit official. They're the first to list Mixmob. So this goes live Feb 1. And I mean, I'm telling you, this could be massive in the Solana ecosystem, especially after all that liquidity just hit the space. And last but not least, I'm really looking forward to the 𝗟𝗟𝗓𝗓 TGE. I mean, these guys have been crushing it behind the scenes. They have some major IP. And I feel like we're giving you guys such a good balance of what's happening now, what could be the next trend, what's the next NFT mint, what's the next TGE, as well as keeping your eyes on the future. So many key backers, KOLs involved with this project. And like I said, what they're doing is going to speak for itself. So definitely keep 𝗟𝗟𝗓𝗓𝗓 TGE on your radar. And then to finish up the show, let's dive into a couple of sponsorship notes here. We have NordVPN. NordVPN is giving away a heck of an exclusive New Year's deal. Big discount plus 4 months free. Navigate crypto securely. Hide your IP. Hide your location. Hide your kids. Hide your wife, but not quite. But use a VPN when you're navigating through crypto. Stay safe. Don't disclose your location. Head down below. NordVPN. Big shout out to Vulcan Forged. They have now sold 20 of their 50 biggest nodes. This costs a ton of PYR to run these things. People are starting to see more and more the potential of Metascapes in the Elysium chain. And with the car racing game, with the Gladiator game, with Vulcan Fight League, with all these quality games coming into the ecosystem, it just makes sense. And if you look here, 28,000 lava generated per day for the players. The usage has burned over 370,000 lava. So PYR is the only way to create lava. Volcanomics will prove strong over time. So shout out to Jamie and the guys over there. Everyone knows I'm a big fan of what Vulcan Forge is doing. So shout out to Vulcan Forged. And now, last but not least, if you aren't already in the Discord, we're giving out so much alpha, answering all you guys' questions. You're getting the charts from the Sniper team and Dylan's team, and you're also getting the gaming alpha straight from myself, Hustle, inside the Discord. We're capping this at 100 members, and we only have like 30 spots left for this month. So guys, if you want to get in, private community, be able to chat with me, sports picks, crypto picks, portfolio, entries, exits, etc., head down below to the Discord, 𝗏𝗡.com/in-the-game. So guys, without further ado, I hope you got your Jupe airdrop. If you didn't, make sure you get the Mavia airdrop by downloading the game today and then linking your account. Go to Mavia Game on Twitter and look for these coins to potentially get some of that liquidity between Heist, Star Atlas, Aurora, Genopets, Photo Finish, Honeyland. These are the projects in the gaming space that got the most liquidity from this airdrop. So I know, for example, I'm going to pivot some of mine back into Honeyland. I'm so bullish there, and I'm going to send some of mine over to Crown. So guys, like the video, subscribe. Let me know, did you get the airdrop? Where are you pivoting your funds? Where do you think the narrative goes from the Jupe liquidity? Let me know down in the comments. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. As always, play well, my friends.